Hi there, this is Mr. Kalman, and this is a tutorial video that will show you how to create your first app using Thunkable.com, which is a block coding app development platform. So in my Google Chrome browser, I'm going to go to Thunkable.com. I'm going to click Sign In the top right-hand corner. You should choose iOS, and then there will be a Sign In with Google button. You should sign into your Google account for school. Right? And then it will bring you to your projects page. If this is the first time that you've used Thunkable, then you don't have any projects here. So you should click on Create New App. And I'm going to call it my first app, but you can call it whatever you want. All right, so you'll notice it's here, and now you should click on it to open it. So just to tell you a little bit about the layout of Thunkable, there's always going to be a preview over here, which is, I'll call it a tablet, but it's really a phone. Then there's a components page. These are basically the different things that you can put into your app. You'll notice that there's two scrollers, one in the middle here, and if it's not going as far, you need to use the one over here to the right to keep going down. All right, and we're going to be using a few of these to create our first app. You'll also notice over here that this sort of gives you this is a little tree that shows you the different parts of your app. And then finally, at the top right here, you'll notice that there's a live test button. This allows you to generate a QR code, and you can scan this using the Thunkable Live app on your iPad, and everything that you code on the computer, whether it's a laptop, desktop, Chromebook, will preview on your iPad or iPhone. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to drag a component onto the screen, and that component is going to be a button. All right, so you'll notice right here, this is your button. You just drag it right over here, okay? And as soon as you do, you'll notice that it says button in the middle, and over here is where you can change the properties of the button. So as you click on each of these visible components, as they call it, they let you know different properties. Currently, there aren't any properties that you can set up for the screen, but for the button, there are. So I'm going to change this to learn about, and this all depends on the content that you're about to generate. So I'm going to click learn about science, okay? Because when we click the button, it's going to lead us to another screen that teaches us about science. You can change the text color, so you can make it whatever you want. I'm going to make it green, because when I think science, I think green, so I'm just going to find one that I like. All right, I'm going to make the font bold. I'm going to make it italic too. You can really choose about this. I'm going to leave it at 16. I'm going to change the background color. Let's see how this looks. What's a good contrast? How about brown? That's good. And then they have this cool thing, corner radius. So if you just increase this or decrease it, it changes the edges of the corners. All right, that's good. So learn about science. What else? I'm going to click back on the screen. Actually, I'm going to click on Add Component, and I'm going to put in an image as well. So I'm going to drag on this image box, okay, and you'll notice again, it added image to the screen over here. If I click on image, it now allows me to change properties. I'm going to open a new window, and I'm going to go to a website that we've talked about all the time called search.creativecommons.org. All right, I'm going to use this in a second. So I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to find an image. I'm also going to search for a video. Fill my video. cool. Let's do this. I'm going to do the solar eclipse one. All right. I'm going to leave that open. I know it's going to an ad, but no big deal. I'm going to search here for Bill Nye solar. And notice I have Google Images clicked here. So I'm finding an image for the solar eclipse. And I can choose any of these because these are all Creative Commons images. I'm going to use this one. Actually, this is Pixabay. Let's do this one. So if I click View Image, you'll notice that it gives me the link to this image, and I can tell because this ends as JPEG. All right, please rewatch this part if you're not sure how to get the link for the image. So I'm going to highlight this and copy it. I'm going to go back to Thunkable, and there's a box that says picture, and right now it's undefined, which basically means it's nothing. And if I click paste, you'll see that there's my solar eclipse. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make this 100 by 100. I'm going to leave it like that. That's the easiest way to insert and edit images. All right, good. So we have an image, we have a button. It doesn't lead anywhere quite yet. I'm going to go back to add component, and I'm going to add an additional screen. So if I scroll down, I'm going to drag screen over here. All right, and I'm just going to change the order of this. It's a little tricky. See where that blue line is? Yeah, so now screen 1 is above screen 2. That means when I open my app, it's going to go to screen 1, which is what I want. Okay, screen 2. I'm going to insert something again. Add component, and I'm going to do something. It's at the very bottom, so remember you have to use this scroller too. I'm going to put in a web viewer. All right, again, web viewer comes up over here in our file tree, and I'm going to click on web viewer. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to use that Bill Nye video. So I'm going to take this link. This is the link to the YouTube video. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to go back to Thunkable. And just like I did with the picture, there's a box that tells us what the content's going to be. And I'm going to paste it in. And that's a YouTube video. All right. So that's all good. Now, my final step is I need to figure out a way to navigate from screen 1 to screen 2. And I haven't really done any coding quite yet. This is where the coding comes in. So I'm going to code it that when I click on this Learn About Science button, and I'm actually going to change that. Let's go back to the button. Learn about the solar eclipse. That's good. Okay. I'm going to have it navigate from button 1, which is this button, the only button I've used, to screen 2. So if I click on button, you'll notice here there's something called blocks, and that's the only tab we haven't used quite yet. And down here at the bottom, for each item, there are different types of code that you can associate, and you can use these as well. But all I'm really focused on right now is button 1. If I scroll down, I can drag on when button 1 is clicked, what is it going to do? If I go to control and scroll down, and I can make it navigate, not to screen 1, but to screen 2. All right, so just in summary, I have 2 screens, screen 1, screen 2. I've inserted an image. This is sort of just orienting us to what this app is all about. Button 1 is the only button, and I've changed some of the properties of it to make it a little bit cooler. And then on screen 2, I've inserted what's called a web viewer. Again, I got that from Add Components. And I've changed the properties of the web viewer, and I've put in the URL. All right. If you have any, if you're unsure of anything, you should rewatch this video. Again, the way to preview this app, you can't do it on the website, is to click Live Test.
Now you can scan the QR code using the Thunkable Live app, and you will see a preview of your app, and you can test it. Yay!